Tag guard. The reason it's called tag because a lot of these geese got on tag down here in the corner of the lapel, alright? So instead of the guys keo tugs, just a little refresher. If I pull on it right now, my leg's trapping it right here. So I'll open my leg for a second, try to get the lapel out. Alright? Last week we went over handing this off behind his head. Right? It's a great grip. You're gonna get like 3 things for the price of 1. It keeps the posture down and start looking for different chokes, arm drags, arm bars, right? Tons of choke and all that stuff, all right? So now we can't get it over his back, all right? So I'm gonna take it from my left hand, I'm gonna hand it to my right hand. I wanna be as low down his bicep as I can, all right? I wanna think about being pretty much right above the crook of his elbow. I want it to be tight. I want it to be like a tourniquet, all right? So even if things might not pan out for me, for whatever reason, if this doesn't pan out, I want this to be so annoying, I'm burning his ribs out, cutting the circulation off, okay? So we're gonna use this as a really good, strong way to arm drag him, all right? So you guys have done arm bars with me before. Everybody doing the little arm bars. This reaching behind the elbow, this is an extreme tight version of that, all right? So you can't pull his elbow back, all right? Also, when we're wearing all the worm guard, reverse the worm, squid and everything, we're grabbing the lapel up here. This one, I want to be tight, like I said, so it cuts the circulation off. Also, this extra fabric, after we do this series, we get to the next thing, I can use this for other things. So I want this extra lapel. I'm going to go same side sleeve. I'm going to hip up, arm drag him. One thing about bringing his elbow to my hip, all right? So that way, even if I don't have this, it's good practice having it at your hip, so that way he can't pull his arm out. I want his arm over my bicep, so it's more friction. All right, everybody see that? You guys can go around if you need to. So from here, we're gonna grab his shoulder, that material right on his shoulder. We're gonna pull him down, keep him down. A lot of times I'll wait here for a second, wait for him to try and lift up a couple times, and then they start realizing they're not getting up out of there. That's when they can open my guard. All right, put my foot in the hip. Only thing about my foot's gonna stay in the hip. Not just thinking about pushing my head off to the side, but I'm thinking about hitting him in the armpit, in the back of the arm, with my inside of my thigh, and this heel going to the shoulder as high as I can. So I'll push, I'll bump him forward. All right? Then I can bring my leg around his shoulder, or his head, I mean. Come to the arm bar, 2, and then we add another arm bar. We catch this up into our shoulder because we did a good job bumping his arm. We let go of this one. My hand that's behind his arm, palm facing away, gable grip. We're gonna start higher up on the meat on his tricep. We're gonna find his elbow. We're gonna saw blade my forearm across his back of his elbow. I find it, pinch my shoulder and my ear together. Another arm bar. Right? So, we're in the close guard. I hand the lapel off to my right hand. I hip up, arm drag, get on my side of my hip. Grab his shoulder, make sure I got him down. Foot in the hip, bump him up. Right? Catch his arm. Right? Bring this arm across, hip up. Saw blade, tight. Right? And we can do this on the other side too. Well, I'll just do it on this side since you guys know this side. One last time. I want to detail what you guys think about. Some of the guys in the morning class, they start pulling this out and reaching over here and grabbing this. Alright? I want you to try not necessarily do that because it's exactly what Kevin just did right there. He starts framing, he can pull his arm out easier, right? Or you get your arm back. Or you get here, he starts framing right here, and you start making it real annoying. He started getting open my guard up, getting his arm out and stuff, okay? So when you guys turn this way. When you guys do this, try to think about a little bit more hitting, like pulling this up and tightening up, all right? You can also grab it like a zip tie, all right? Lift up, arm drag, get it into your hip pocket, all right? Grab the shoulder, foot in the hip, and pushing and bumping them up, all right? If I can use this to push them away, forward and back, I can put the boot on this one. All right, cross my ankles, pinch my thighs, hip it up. First arm bar, second arm bar. Nice, thank you, Kevin. You guys got any questions? Situation, all right? So from here, going to the tag, taking the arm across, getting in the armpit, getting in the hip, elbows in my armpit, grab his shoulder, put my foot in his hip, bumping up real good, pinch him down. All right. So maybe there's a situation where we need to get points. We're not too, his elbows get a little further out or something. All right. So I'm going to take this lapel. I'm going to hand it off to this hand. A good cue that I look for is to make my knuckles touch the inside of this leg, even if it's real light. Even if it doesn't touch, if I'm digging my head that I need to touch this on my leg, it's going to be tighter. All right. Versus like, oh, just hold it. There's all this space. So touch it inside your leg. Here, there's two options. All right. The most common one is to underhook your partner's leg, palms up. All right. I'm going to think about taking my right thumb and trying to touch my shoulder this whole time until the very end. My foot's going to stay on this hip right here, so it trips it. This is a pendulum sweep. All right. So I'm going to bring my thumb to my shoulder. I'm going to put the boot on. I'm going to stomp my foot. Take Kevin over. I'm going to use this weight to pull me up. All right. So from here, we do one. Go back to the arm bar. All right. So I'll let go of the lapel and push his knee to the ground. Push this knee to the ground. Come back. I'm going to go elbow to elbow. Grab my collar. I'm going to start bringing my leg around his head and hipping up. Or I can take my shin across his head and hip up. All right. Another option that happens is his head or the arm will get caught here. And you still come back to that other arm bar. All right. If he lands a little bit more flat on his back, that's okay. Just a little higher on his chest and get to your S mount. Same thing. You can grab his hip, you can grab his knee, walk that leg around. Aim small, miss small. Okay. So I try to finish your arm bars on top. All right. So that way, if you try to stay on top and Kevin moves, boom, and he takes me over, I'm already gonna be tighter up against him. All right. Now I'm gonna hold my collar. I'm gonna reach it back, hold on to his legs. So that way he doesn't do the hitchhiker escape, okay? If he locks his arms, locks his hands, we're gonna think about putting the boot on with this, cross facing him, bring my heel in, stomp him. All right? That's one. Another one, he locks his hands. We want to abandon the leg. This one is one of my favorites. Just grabbing this far side elbow. One of my favorites because it doesn't feel like it should work, but it's one of those weird mechanic things. I'll pull this elbow towards me, then it breaks that grip. And then I'll sit back, okay? Sorry guys, we're going to do this one. There's a pendulum, all right? So the first one, we underhook the leg from my thumb to my shoulder, all right? Arm drag. Looking for that arm bar, getting a sweep. I hand the lapel off. I underhook his leg. That's the first one. I had a teammate, Chris Builder's been coming back, joining us for kickboxing and stuff. He grabs the outside of the pants, right here, and then he curls the leg in. All right, that's super strong. And then he stumps. And then he goes up. All right, and then start bringing the ground, put the arm bar here, or the platform here. All right, it's a good chance too. Say whatever happens, he moves his arm out. Something goofy, whatever happens here. Stuff got loose. He gets his arm out, and you start coming back for the gift wrap. And you start coming back with this lapel. Get a bow and arrow. A lot of good stuff there. Okay. One more time. And hand it up. Get the shoulder. Make sure I got posture before I open my guard. Flip the hip, bumping them up. Right? Hand the lapel up to my left hand. Underhooking, curling the leg, fishing on the outside. Stomping my foot, using his weight to pull me up. Right? So that time you land a little bit flatter. It's okay. I'm getting a punch to a mount. I get S mount. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to start looking to finish on top. All right? If you guys fall off, just hold your collar. All right? When you guys mentioned about having to work towards the wrist, if he's holding on, I'm sitting there, go ahead and grab the grip. I'm elbow to elbow, hold my collar. He's holding on my weight. I'm just leaning back. Right? Dead weight. Right? Versus up here, it's a lot of slack. I'm not doing anything. It's not going to be burning out. Right? So then I can come to the side with my foot. Break that grip. And then work my way down to this one. Any questions on that? Ready, Kevin? 3, 1, 2, 3.